morning, afternoon, whenever you're watching this. Welcome to the Owatonna Today Show. I'm Shelley Whitehead. Thank you so much for joining us right here on Charter Channel 8, where you can see us 6 days a week all throughout the day. It's easy to catch up with what's going on in your community. We're also on the internet. You can find us on YouTube, and you can also find us on the thirdhandvideo.com, which is an opportunity, Leanne's website, and you can go see. She keeps all those archives on there. And the best thing, though, is liking us on Facebook, because there's two reasons. First of all, Leanne does upload the most recent episode right to your news feed, so it's easy way just to click on that and see what's going on. And right now, we are giving away tickets to the Renaissance Festival. So all you have to do is like us on Facebook, or if you've already liked us on Facebook, like this episode. We'll get you in the drawing, and you can get 2 free tickets to the most awesome place on earth.
Or send us an email.
You could send us an email. What? So many. I'm just astounded. This is amazing. Can they call us too? If they don't.
Absolutely.
You can call us. We'll let you. And you can send us an email at owatonnatoday@charter.net or call us at 390-5751. And that is also the place you want to call us or let us know about something going on in your community or in your organization. Let us know what's going on. We'll get you on there. We'll have a lot of fun. We try to have fun here on the Owatonna Today Show, and hopefully you know that as well. So like today, we're excited. We're going to be talking a little bit about the Minnesota State Orphanage, as well as what's going on in community ed. So stick with us. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Jody Voisin with the staff at Fairview Animal Medical Center, your other family doctor. Fairview Animal Medical Center is a proud supporter of the Owatonna Today Show.
When using a fire extinguisher, we suggest using the pass system. Pull the pin at the top of the extinguisher that keeps the handle from being accidentally pressed. Aim the nozzle toward the base of the fire. Squeeze the handle to discharge the extinguisher. If you release the handle, the discharge will stop. Sweep the nozzle back and forth at the base of the fire. After the fire appears to be out, watch it carefully since it may reignite. If you have the slightest doubt about whether or not to fight the fire, get out and close the door behind you. This has been a safety message from the Owatonna Fire Department.
Hi, my name is Dave Olson and I'm with R&K Electric, where we provide power to the people. We're proud supporters of the Owatonna Today Show.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Olson of Mayo Clinic Health System in Owatonna. We know that good health goes beyond having a quality clinic and hospital in our community. That's why United Way is convening community partners to reduce obesity, diabetes, and heart disease in Steele County. At the same time, United Way is funding programs that increase access to health and dental care right now. We're proud to be a partner of the United Way Community Campaign Leadership Team, and we encourage you to join us by giving a gift this year.
And we're back with the Owatonna Today Show. I'm Shelley Whitehead, and in studio we have Ann Peterson and Shelby Zempel. Hey!
Hi. Hello.
How are you ladies?
Great.
I know, I'm so excited to be here. Can't stand it. All right. I want to start off introducing yourselves,
Okay.
if you don't mind.
Okay, I'm Ann Peterson, and I am the museum director at the Minnesota State Public School Orphanage Museum.
Because you couldn't have a longer name. No.
Or the orphanage, as people call it.
Yeah, there you go.
And I am the chairperson of the museum board.
Okay. Well, we're going to talk a little bit today about an amazing event, second annual event that we have going on. And so if that's okay, we'll start with you, Shelby, talking about that event, and then we'll let you, Ann, tell us a little bit more about the museum. But so the event is, when is the event, first of all?
The event is Saturday, September 20th.
Okay.
It starts at 6 o'clock. We're really excited to be doing the second annual. We had a nice attendance last year. Part of this is to raise money for our Legacy Trust. And the other part of it is really to just continue to give our community examples and opportunities to remember the history that really built up Owatonna and enjoy it and share that with their families and friends as well.
And this might be a question for you, but do we know how big Owatonna was when the state school was here?
Oh, that's a good question.
Do you know?
In 1886, I know it was not very big, but this, up here on the hill was way removed from the downtown. It was quite a walk, so.
Yeah.
Owatonna was very small.
Very
when it-
small.
Yeah.
Were there about, because you talk about it being built up, and it's so funny because I think for a long time that history of the state school was kind of forgotten. And even though there were state school students living in Owatonna, the history itself was forgotten. And so you're going to do a special event during this event. There's actually a special remembrance. Tell us a little bit about the luminaries.
So our event begins at 6 o'clock with a registration by the fitness center, the West Hills Tennis and Fitness Center. And then what we will do is at 7 o'clock start our history walk. And so there will be luminaries placed around. And we had about 6 last year. We'll probably have a similar number of that, of just history stops. So you'll have a guide walk you through as a group and talk about some of the history that's still there and some of the history that's not there. For example, the root cellar, that will be a fun one. It's recently restored. That's always a favorite for everybody. So we'll be stopping at the root cellar. We'll also be talking about things like the greenhouse and the farm, that you have to use your imagination a little bit. They don't exist anymore, but it's still really important kind of context of the history for that part. That will lead up to a really special talk at the cemetery. Barry Adams has spoken at different state school events, and a local historian is very, very knowledgeable about the 198 children that are buried out in the cemetery. And so we will kind of wrap up our history stop walks with a special talk with Barry Adams, as well as we have a special harpist who's playing for us. We'll have, last year we did a 2x2 walk with the children. We're doing a little different spin on that, but we're still going to have a memorial candle walk to conclude the event.
Well, and why is it so important to have this kind of a memorial event? What do you think the connection is between the community and this event?
Well, I think that it's like any museum. I think sometimes it's difficult to really kind of think in the context of, at some point in time you could walk up here and there could be 500 people living up here, and children on playgrounds, and children working, and children doing all these things. And as people get older, you know, you kind of meet an adult, but you forget about the life that once was up here. And so it's just kind of to help us put our visitors in the place of the kids. And so, like I say, to learn about the history a little bit, but to walk around and see and try to imagine. We'll have some pictures of what it used to look like, and really kind of take a step back with us, as close as we can to remember the history.
And will this be appropriate for children to come to? Because I would imagine that would be just a great event for them as well.
Yep, we had a good number of children that came and actually helped set up last year. Good. So, you know, if people are interested in volunteering, they certainly can. But we've had some children. We're thinking about doing a couple special things for the children to purchase or take with them this year too. So.
And so, how is it a fundraiser? How can people help donate that evening?
We've got a few different opportunities. There are some sponsorship opportunities. We're excited to announce that Federated Insurance will be our corporate sponsor for the second year in a row. But we also have cemetery sponsorships and luminary sponsorships that people can purchase. Really, the best way to do it is just to go out on our website. Otherwise, if they're up on the West Hills campus, they can visit with Ann, our museum director, or stop at Cottage 11, and they can kind of give you a spread of the sponsorship and purchasing opportunities. Okay. At 6 o'clock on registration that evening, they can also still purchase a luminary sponsorship if they would like to, as well as the candles for the candle walk.
Well, and I think it's important to realize that the luminary isn't just for maybe if you knew somebody here, but even, you know, if you have an adopted child, you can give that luminary in honor of them because they did not have to go through that,
That's a great idea.
Stay in there. So there's all sorts of reasons why you would want to buy a luminary, even if you know Harvey or any reason, to just kind of honor them and those who did live here for that time. Well, and I want to talk a little bit about the museum itself. How many years has it been open?
Over 20, more than 20. Harvey and Maxine started in the early 1990s with, you know, putting the statue out in front, and then it's just kind of snowballed since then to be what it is today. We have people coming from all over the United States to visit it. It's really, and sometimes I hear people from Owatonna that they don't know that it's here, but we have people, you know, which, you know, I can, you know, sometimes when you're that close to something, you think I'll do it sometime. But so that's really exciting, is to talk to the people who are visiting and how did you hear about us and where are you coming from. I had 2 sisters, one was from South Carolina and one was from California, and they had just found out that this was the orphanage that their father had been raised in. Wow. So they kind of made a pilgrimage here, and then they were going to find his records from the they kept very extensive records on the children that were placed here through the state of Minnesota, and those are at the Minnesota Historical Society, so we've helped people do that. But I really would like people to know that it's not just a dusty old museum that you can walk through. There is a lot of vibrancy with it as you get involved in it. There's a lot of interaction that you can do with different videos, to walk the grounds. We've got audio stations around, and the people that do take the time to come are more apt to not say, oh, I'm bringing somebody back, and then they do, because it has a very profound effect on people when they walk through. All you have to think about is your own childhood or your children or your grandchildren being put in that position, and it really does have a big impact. So,
Yeah.
if somebody has not been there yet,
It's time to come.
come on up.
What I love that you talked about is that it did kind of create a life of its own, because it does have such an important message of nurturing children and that kind of thing. So people have to come. It's almost like they're drawn here, and so the museum had to happen so that people could have a place to come, to heal, to grow, to learn, and
To
that
learn,
kind of
exactly. I think that's why it was so powerful that it all fell into place the way it did. But we want to keep that going, because Harvey and Maxine are stepping back, and they volunteered a lot of their hours to do that. So we're kind of facing the reality that we want to become self-sufficient
Pass that
with a
torch
trust,
on.
event too. So. It's all coming together with this event, hopefully.
And so, when you do give the tours, like you said, there's the audio tour, and people can walk through that themselves. So I'm imagining this event is taking that tour and just kind of like supercharging it in a way.
Well, it's definitely going to be different than what they do, because it's at night and it's kind of, with all the lights and everything. But it'll be the first time that people can see into the new root cellar. But my point was I was going to try.
And the locations are a little bit different.
Different,
The
yeah,
audio
so that-
tour kind of gives you a broad view of
Okay.
the grounds and the museums that are out there, and we're trying to take a more confined area with this so that it's truly a path that you travel.
Okay.
There were so many buildings up there at one point in time that we're kind of piecing it off each year so people can learn a new piece of history.
When is the event again?
Saturday, September 20th, 6 o'clock.
Is there a cost to attend?
There is no cost to attend. We do ask that people consider a sponsorship or a donation.
Good. Thank you so much for your time, ladies. It was a pleasure seeing you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. Please stay with us.
My voice.
Hi, my name is Dave Efforts with TPS Insurance. We're here to handle all your insurance needs. We are a very proud supporter of the Owatonna Today Show.
I didn't just want another job, I wanted a career, so I expressed myself.
I was new to town and I didn't know where to turn for a job, so I decided to express myself.
I decided to express myself, and they helped find the right career for me.
Express Employment Professionals is in contact with thousands of companies in need of quality employees. Come in now and get the job you deserve.
Express yourself today.
Do you know how to safely dispose of your prescription and non-prescription drugs? Not by flushing them down the toilet or putting them in the garbage. Doing so pollutes our rivers, streams, and drinking water supply. Take it to the box instead for safe, secure disposal. It's easy. Bring your unused medications in their original containers to the drop-off locations listed on the screen and drop them in the Take It to the Box drop box. Proper disposal of unwanted medications keeps them out of the hands of children and out of our environment. This is a message from the Safe and Drug-Free Coalition of Steele County.
Hi, I'm Doug Johnson with the Owatonna Business Incubator. We're here to help small businesses start and to grow. We're a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
Welcome to Bremer Bank. I am Jason Iberg.
And I'm Shannon Peterson.
Bremer is a full financial services bank.
We invite you to stop by Bremer Bank and experience the Bremer difference.
You are always welcome at Bremer.
Hello, I'm David Einhaus with the Owatonna Foundation. Thank you to all of our donors who have helped make Owatonna a better place to live. Will you join us today with a financial gift? Owatonna Foundation is a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
And we're back at the Owatonna Today Show. In studio we have Sean, I called you Sean Hughes and Deb Karaus. How are you?
Great.
Good. Thanks so much for joining us here today. You two are part of the community ed program, and I want to thank you for that because you bring classes and opportunities to the area for people who may never even have thought of taking that kind of class, and then it's kind of oftentimes starts a new passion, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah,
yes.
something they get obsessed with and they love it. First of all, let's start introducing yourselves, if you don't mind.
Well, I'm Deb Karaus, and I set up the adult and family enrichment classes and programs and events and trips.
Okay, good.
Okay, and I'm the youth coordinator. I oversee the youth enrichment programming, the school age care program, and the kids' first junior high athletics.
Oh, wow. So you both are very busy people, aren't you?
We are. In fact, when we left work this morning, we had all 4 phone lines ringing, and our secretary looked at us like, don't leave, don't leave.
Yes.
So
she was crying, but you got to do what you got to do. I wanted to, because it is time for sign up. It's time to start signing up for the community ed classes.
Here's a copy of our newest brochure we have here. And they were bulk mailed to Owatonna residents last week. Most people probably received them on Friday or Saturday. And we also have online registration. So when we came to work this morning, we had phones ringing, and I don't know, did you look at the web orders? We probably had over 100 web orders
just
as well.
Morning. Wow.
So it's great that people can register at 6 in the morning or midnight or 2 a.m. if they can't sleep.
Schedule. Yeah.
So, and people love it, and we encourage people to use that type of registration.
Do you have any idea about how many people participate in the community ed programs?
Oh, we do our state report every November. Thousands, actually.
Yeah.
So to put a number on it, we'd have to pull up our most recent report from last year.
It's not on your cell phone? No.
Yeah. No, it's not on my cell phone.
It gets too heavy that way.
Yes.
So let's start off with talking. You have some special events that you want to highlight. Let's go ahead and talk about those.
I have, this one is coming up right away. And we have a women's self-defense workshop. We had our 2 presenters here that are coming from the St. Cloud area, and they came down last March, and they did a 3-hour workshop. And the time just flew by, and people on their evaluation said, we need a longer workshop. So we are doing a 9 to 3 on September 27th. It's a Saturday at OHS. We encourage high school girls to attend, gals that have maybe just started college or maybe are commuting. Moms, grandmas, any adult woman would benefit from this workshop.
Because not only, it kind of, I'm guessing it lends itself to a little bit more self-confidence as well when you're in maybe a situation that you feel a little timid in.
Right.
You know that you can handle yourself if anything should happen.
Right.
Whether it does or not.
Correct. And one of our presenters, Angela, I'll just use her first name, is an assault survivor.
Okay.
And she was attacked in a Minneapolis parking ramp. Leaving work. And she believes it's because things she knew to do, and she looked like the type of woman, don't mess with me. So she'll talk about those things, just body language when you're out and about. And if you are in a situation where something does happen, how to fight back.
Good, good. All right, so then we have some other events we want to talk about.
We do. I have another poster here. I'll quickly move this one up. Ruth Bachman is an eloquent speaker, author, writer, and a cancer survivor. And we are partnering with the Owatonna Clinic on this particular evening in October. It's October 13th. We'll do it at Roosevelt School. And Ruth is going to come and talk about her book that she's written. It's called Growing Through the Narrow Spots. And basically what it's about is how do you handle change? Life happens, throws curveballs at us, and how do you pick up the pieces when something major or something minor happens? Why are some people more resilient to situations that occur in their life, and why do other people want to just crawl under the covers? So,
and sometimes the strong person have those moments of covering, and I think understanding that as well too.
We all have those transitions and how we deal with them. And she spoke in the spring to an organization I belong to, Owatonna American Association of University Women. She spoke at our state conference and had people in tears. And we're just so excited to have her coming. And we do need to charge for this event. It's $10 a person, but she donates most of her money to worthy causes. that help fight cancer. So we're very pleased to have her coming.
Good. And the next program, I'm already fascinated as well.
I know.
I don't know how you're going to top those two.
Well, this one, believe me, will top everything. And this is in December, but we're starting to sell tickets for this event. The Lowe family is coming back to Owatonna. Now, I don't know if you saw them when they were here about 4 years ago, and they were here even before that. It's a musical family. Their roots are from Branson, but they are now living in Nashville, and it's a family of wonderful, gifted musical artists. Mother, father, adult children, and they play various musical instruments. They are professional singers. One of the daughters is a professional dancer.
Wow.
So it will be an acoustic type Christmas show. Oh, okay. And we're doing it right here at Little Theater. And tickets are $25 for adults, $15 for students.
Okay, good. And a very professional, like you said,
absolutely,
program. Good. Well, Sean, we want to talk to you a little bit about what's going on with the kids programming, because it's very popular in the Owatonna area, isn't it?
Yep. Summer's probably our busiest time, but we also, still have classes here in the fall and winter. We've got Watch Me Draw classes coming back. We kind of took a year off from them, but we also have our martial arts classes that we have year round. Youth Enrichment League does Lego, chess, and fencing.
So it's a little something for everyone. And is that kind of, as you go forward in this programming and you bring these events, is that your goal, is to be able to engage every kind of child?
Yeah, we're always looking for new activities. Fencing we brought in 2 years ago. The first session we only had 5 kids. This past summer we had 14 kids.
Nice.
And we've got kids now that are competing in the contests up in the cities.
No way. Wow, in 2 years, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah. And chess is another big one that's kind of taken off for us. We're actually looking at hopefully this winter maybe having a chess tournament here in Owatonna for kids.
Fun. Yeah, that's such a great thing for them to do. And then, so you also have athletic events as well as the cultural and intellectual events.
Right. Junior high athletics, winter season or fall season is going now. Registration ended last week.
Okay.
We're already 2 weeks into the 7.5-week season, so it's not very long.
No.
Winter's programming, we'll probably start registration right after MEA, middle of October.
Okay.
Girls basketball start the end of October. Wrestling will start in November, cheerleading in November, and boys basketball right after Christmas.
Yeah, so no excuse to say you're bored, because we have amazing community education programming. But we also want people to know that they need to sign up for, if they've got the brochure, do not wait, because some of these classes fill up very quickly.
Right. Our ballet, tap, and jazz is probably our most popular one. Usually within 3 days, all those classes will be filled up.
Yeah, so you want to make sure that you get those programming. If someone didn't get a brochure, is there an easy way for them to get a hold of one?
You can stop into Roosevelt Community School, pick it up. We do have some at the library, the chamber.
Okay. Is there an online way to look at these as well?
Online, you can look at it.
Okay.
If you go to owatonnacommunityed.org,
okay.
You can look at the brochure and it'll hook you right into the registration process.
And so, Deb, we talked a little bit about some of the kids' classes, but we go to adults as well. So you have the special ones, but you also have other classes and some trips, too.
We have some trips that are coming up here very quick. On September 26th, we're taking a motor coach to Stillwater to do a fall leaf tour, and we'll be on the St. Croix having a riverboat cruise and luncheon. We have a trip we're doing the end of October called the Spirited Tour.
Ooh.
And we're going to tour the Wabasha Street Caves. Some haunted places perhaps in St. Paul, and we're going to visit a home in Hastings. Annie Wilder has written a book about her home that is haunted as well.
So there's a lot of people who find that stuff very fascinating.
Yeah. We do a secret tour of Owatonna. Nancy Valancourt does that, and some history, some storytelling, some imagination is involved, and we come to this building as well.
This is an amazing building to poke around in.
It is.
I'd prefer not to do it in the middle of the night, but
exactly.
that's just me.
And then we have lots of great art classes, technology classes, Windows 8.1. So
yeah, because that's the nice thing about community ed too, is that if you do have, there's new technology out there, you guys are always ready to help people kind of be able to understand what's going on with it.
We do. We have to be prepared for what's coming at us next.
Do. So how can people become registered again?
Oh, please call us 444-7900 or register online. OwatonnaCommunityEd.org.
And some of the classes, like you mentioned, do cost. And so how can people pay for those?
Well, Any way you want to.
Okay,
cash, check,
Chickens?
charge. Well, you know, I'm not sure about that, but we do love animals at our building.
Yes, you do. So maybe. So talk to him about it. You never know. It could happen. I want to thank you for your time today. And I know it's been a very, very busy week for you, but we appreciate you taking some time and letting us know what's going on in community ed.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. We'll be right back. Please stay with us.
Hi, I'm Pete Connor. I'm here to say some things about an upcoming bicycle safety course that's going to be held here in Owatonna. It's called TS 101. It'll be held on the 26th and 27th of September. It's for people who are riders or drivers of bicycles that want to learn more about bike safety, about bike rules, and about bike handling technique. If you have any interest, give me a call. I'm at 456-1099.
Hi, Warren Abraham, Abraham Consulting Technologies, your one-stop technology shop. We support the Owatonna Today Show.
Owatonna Public Utilities, real people, real reliable, real progress. Making life a little easier day after day, taking pride in our community, listening to what you say, a voice you can talk to. We're growing with you. Owatonna Public Utilities.
And we're back with the Owatonna Today Show. Time to talk about some of those amazing opportunities for you to do stuff around the area, including St. Paul's Episcopal Church Rummage Sale. It's coming up Friday and Saturday from 8 to 5 and 8 to at 2. Proceeds from the sale will go towards the St. Paul's Building Fund. So you can bring your gently used items by September 10th, and then they're looking for all types of items. They're also looking for volunteers. If you want to help out, you can do that, or you can go and shop, which is also a lot of fun. The City Council approved a city deer hunt for Owatonna to be held November 1st through December 14th in some of the wooded parks. Application fee is $10 to the City of Owatonna. It is non-refundable. Hunters must be at least 18 years of age. Antlerless deer may be harvested in Hammond Park, Kaplan's Woods Parkway, North Strait River Park area, Mineral Springs, Leo Rudolph Nature Reserve, Manthe Park, Maple Creek Parkway, and Crystal Park. The Owatonna Art Center is opening 2 new exhibitions on Sunday, September 7th. Car paintings by Waseca artist Whitney Thompson and Snap Sessions photography by young adults. The 2 exhibitions will run through September 27th, and the gallery hours are 1 to 5, Tuesday through Sunday, and they are closed on Mondays. Sorry, can't even turn the page. I'm so excited. The Steele County Historical Society is pleased to welcome Kristen Kaplan Holsworth, granddaughter of Reuben Buzz Kaplan, for a presentation and book signing on Thursday, September 11th at 7 p.m. in the History Center, which is located right here in Owatonna. Admission to the lecture is free for Steele County Historical Society members and $2 for non-members. Take an opportunity to get to know a little bit more about Owatonna history. Do join us on Friday when we're going to be talking to the Straight River Cleanup, talking about that, as well as talking about the bike safety course that we were mentioning earlier on Monday. So we'll see you then. Have a great day.